Governor Palin and I, we have 5 children. We're both very committed to limited government and Tea Party principles, which include not taxing any American any more than they are now, having our federal government live within its means, in other words, not spending more than what we're taking in. And under our Constitution, we believe that the United States Congress shouldn't act beyond those limitations. And I think that's very compatible with people who stand for Tea Party ideals.
Let me ask you now, because you've got a whole new stream of Tea Party candidates coming into Congress. Do you believe you're making the Republican Party itself stronger, or are you working against it?
Oh, far stronger. The verve, vibrancy, and energy of this election came from those who were the Tea Party candidates, and I think that the Republican Party has found its way. It understands its core and its soul, and these wonderful new freshmen that are coming in to join us are very solid in their principles going forward.
Would you like the Tea Party to replace the Republican Party one day?
No, it really won't, because really the Tea Party is not a political party. It's just a set of ideas, and it's the ideas that the Republican Party were founded on. So really all we've done is reacquainted ourselves with our origins, and the spirit of 1776, with all due respect to our British viewers, is back and alive and well in the hearts of Americans today.
You've suggested that President Obama is anti-American. Do you really believe that?
Well, you know, I've been very concerned about the policies that have come out of the White House, and I think I share that agreement with people who voted at the ballot box on the first Tuesday of November. They're rejecting the federal government foray into buying and owning an equity share.
But that's a different thing.
Businesses.
Do you think he's anti-American? Do you think that the President of America is anti-American?
Well, the policies that are anti-free enterprise are ones that are not familiar to the people of the United States. And that's why we saw such a strong reaction to the ballot box. In fact, the government takeover of health care is a great example. That's not what we've done here historically in the United States, and the people don't want to see the federal government control and dictate our health care.
You claimed that President Obama spent $200 million a day on a trip to India. It's been roundly ridiculed as a quote.
Actually, I didn't claim that. I was quoting a newspaper out of India, and I only used that quote after many national. It was, number one, it came out of the host country in India. It came out of a well-respected financial newspaper.
Well, and you believe that $200 million a day?
Well, excuse me. All I did is I quoted the newspaper. I quoted the newspaper, and major national figures here in the United States, many across the media, for several days had already been using that figure. And so I'm not the originator of that figure. It came out of the host country where the president was flying to. And really, the reason why it was so important is because the president has a 2-year history of out-of-control spending. And when the president was going on a trip to a foreign
just to clarify,
country,
that was a mistake, was it?
And taking out, only the White House knows. The White House still hasn't cleared it up.
You still believe he spent $200 million a day on that trip? You believe that?
I didn't say whether I believe it or not. What I said is that I was quoting a newspaper of the host country, and now it's up to the White House to either prove or disprove that number. It's not up to me.
Your local paper says that you specialize in flame-throwing and falsehoods.
Well, newspapers say whatever they want to say. That's my province. That's not theirs.
So the trouble is, when you have your local newspaper, who you would have thought might support you, or you have President Clinton, who's clearly on the other side, saying things like, you come out with things that are ideological without any evidence base at all. What do you say to that?
Well, that's a false statement. Of course, the former President Clinton was campaigning for my opponent in the election, and comments like that get said. But the fact is, I was quoting simply a newspaper, but the bigger issue in all of this was the fact that the president on his trip is taking over 870 rooms at a hotel. We have never seen this level of excess before on a presidential trip.
There are hints today that Sarah Palin might run for president. Are you excited?
She may be one of the candidates. I'm very excited about the fact that I think that the Republicans will field a very deep bench and a well-qualified bench for people that will be challenging President Obama. I think that people across the United States are not happy with President Obama's policies, and I think it's quite likely he will be a one-term president. And so I think that it's very important that we have a good, deep bench of candidates going forward for 2012.
She thinks she can beat President Obama. Do you?
I think that she has a very good chance of beating President Obama, because I think right now President Obama has a lot of difficulty, but we don't know. That will remain for 2012. No one knows until the election comes.
What about your own chances? Will you run?
Will I vote? Of
Will you
course I'll
run?
vote.
Will you run?
I'm here in the House of Representatives. I just won that election, and so all I'm focused on right now is getting our financial house in order in the United States.
Congresswoman Bachmann, thanks very much indeed. Appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you.